This is Gina with Creative Geniuses Art Program. Today we're going to be making a project called Sky Weaving. It's a weaving project inspired by colors of the sky. We hope that today you can accomplish three things. We hope that you can be inspired by the colors of the sky or inspired by some artworks that we show you. We also hope that you can use a pattern, a working pattern, to weave some strings to create your weaving. Lastly, we hope that you are able to share your artwork and talk about it with others through either our social media, Facebook, or by emailing me, and also by creating an artist statement that you can share with families and friends to talk about your work. Here are the things that you will need to do today's project. We call it our art kit. So in your art kit, you should have a paper lesson plan with directions if you're a reader and like to read the directions. And you'll need a paper plate, some different colored yarns. We recommend 3 colors or more, a plastic needle, a ruler or a protractor for measuring, an artist statement handout, which is just some questions to get you talking about your artwork. An advanced level can use some beads. You will also need a pair of scissors, and some optional items are a pencil and scratch paper and some coloring tools such as crayons or colored pencils or markers. We always begin our art projects with some brainstorming to get you inspired to begin your project. So for today, we're going to start with inspiration from color. Now, there's some different questions you can answer depending on if you're a beginner level, intermediate, or advanced. Here's some of the questions you can think about. What is your favorite color? What does it remind you of? Name or draw some things that contain that color. Here's some more questions that you can think about. How many varieties of skies can you come up with? Think about the different times of day and the colors you might see in the sky. Make a list, talk with someone, or use coloring tools for mini sketches of your ideas. If you have any personal photographs of a sunrise or sunset or a sky in general, view this photograph and name all the different colors that you see. Try to mix coloring media such as colored pencils or paints or markers to create these colors that you see in the photograph. Just like music might inspire us to dance, nature, the earth, and the sky is one kind of inspiration for artists. The sky holds so many colors depending on what the weather is and what the time of day it is. What are other colors you might see in the sky besides your basic blue and white? Besides imagining in your brain, it might be a good time to stare out your window or take a walk outside to observe the sky. Looking at fine art of skies and photographs and in real life, let's find and name some color combinations that we see in each. We can use our yarn to match those colors. An artist can match their coloring tools, whether it be yarn, pencils, crayons, or paints, to create their artwork. Today we will be using colored yarn to create a weaving. A weaving is made up of an action of interlacing threads. Weavings are strings that follow a pattern to create a textile. Weavings can be made into fabrics, baskets, and the clothes we wear. Take a look really closely at the clothes you're wearing. It is made of teeny tiny strings all laced together. As I look around my house, I've got some baskets that are woven and some branches I use as decorations that are woven. Can you find anything around your house that is woven? Okay, now this is my first time doing a live video with, I have some new hookups for hold the camera up here, and I have a new light. There's a first time for everything, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. So I want to show you how the beginner level, preschoolers, or people just starting, how that's going to look. So the beginners will have a loom already made. A loom is this, and it is what you can do a weaving on. It's what artists use to hold the strings. It's an apparatus that weavers use to start their project. And so this loom is just a plate, and it's cut in half, and it has slits to hold the strings. Okay, and on the back, I didn't have tape, but I did find some stickers, and all about being creative is using what you have. And I tied the strings around in these slits, and then I knotted it at the end. Okay, so this is the loom that we will be using. All right, my color scheme, I like the sky blue, like a bright sunny day, sky blue kind of theme. So I have this light blue, this middle blue, and I might use some white for like white fluffy clouds, okay? And we don't need this. Here is our needle it's plastic, so it's not sharp, and it's got a great big eye. It looks like an eye, and that is what the string goes through. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with a long piece of this color. Okay, I have to find the end. And I'm gonna pull maybe an arm's length out, cut it up, and I have to get this string through the eye, poke it in the eye. This is the only time you can do that because that is not safe in the real world. Just in the art world, you can poke the string through the eye. Okay, so I got this end like this, tied a knot. I'm gonna find the other end. Now we have to tie this on the back here, okay? We don't want to see this part. It's a secret. Okay, we're gonna bring it up. We're gonna start at the bottom and we're gonna weave up. For younger kids, let's pretend this is an animal, your favorite animal, a jumpy animal, a fast animal, a slow animal. What kind of animal could this be? I'm gonna do a, what should I do? I'm gonna do a snake maybe? Okay, and so we're gonna do a pattern which repeats over and over and over, and the snake is gonna up and down and up and down, over, under, over, under. So he's gonna and over and back into the ground, under, over, and I'm pulling as I go, and over, under, and we're gonna pull him, pull him, pull him all the way, okay? Not too tight, but just a little snug. And now, so this, we went over, we went under, so now we're gonna go over. We're gonna do the opposite and come back. We're gonna go back and forth. Over, under, over, under, over. When we get to the end, we're gonna pull him. He's gonna slither his way back to this side. Okay? You're gonna pull, not too tight, it might destroy your loom, but just enough to hold it tight. Okay, we're gonna go back the other way. So since he went over, now he's gonna go under and over and under and over that next string and under, pull him through. And we keep doing this pattern. It's the same thing over and over again, back and forth and over, under, over, under, over. Your loom is holding the strings, the weaving is forming, and under, over, under, over, under. And you're gonna start growing your weaving up towards the top. It's gonna get wider and wider. Okay. Now, let's say you decide you want to change colors You don't want this color no more. Let's do the light blue. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna snip. Okay, get that off of there. We're gonna get this off of here, this needle. We don't want this on here no more, and we're gonna get a new color. Okay? And the new color will be this light blue. I'm gonna pull a string that is about as long as my arm. Getting the end is sometimes hard. Okay. Snip that. And I'm gonna stick the end through the eye of the needle. Tie a knot. Find the end. And we're just gonna knot this here, tie it on. Now you can either these are called tails. These guys that stick out are called tails. You can either leave them for kind of a little accent, decoration, or you can cut them off. I'm gonna cut mine off. The tails. I don't wanna see those. Okay, so, and then we just start the same pattern. So we went under, now we're gonna go over, under, over, under. And that little knot's just gonna kind of be hidden in there, kind of camouflage, they call it. It's just gonna blend right in. And I'm gonna go in with my lighter color. Back and forth, over and under, and over and under. Until we reach the top. I'm reaching the end of my string here, and I see that I still have a little bit left up at the top. I pushed down a tiny bit, there's still a little left. So I'm gonna change my string again. I'm gonna do white for the very end. Snip. I'm gonna tie that end onto this end. And cut the tails off. And then stick the thread through the eye, tie a knot, and we're ready to finish this up. Let's see, under, over. Okay, I think I might do one more after this. Uh-oh. Now, at the very end, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide this string behind. I'm gonna tuck him away back there. I'm gonna cut. And you can either tape it, glue it, I guess, use a sticker, or tie a knot. I'm just gonna tie a knot. As I was working with this, I was thinking about what if I want to stand it up. So what I did was I folded this. This is just one way to do it. There's all sorts of other options. You can put a tape on the wall or on the refrigerator. But I wanted to stand it up, so I folded it and it stands. Isn't that neat? So you can put it on a bookcase or on a ledge over a fireplace. And this is the beginner or preschool level weaving. The intermediate level will already have a loom already prepared again, but instead of a half of a plate, you will get a full loom size, a full circle. For the advanced, I'm going to show you how you would make your own loom. This is just a plate. It's a little sturdier. Not the cheapest plate, not the most expensive, but it's a medium weight plate. And so what I did was, this is a protractor. You can also use a ruler, or you can just use your finger to measure, but we want to have increments of slits all the way around. So I use the protractor for measuring. And so what I did was I put it in the middle. So this is in the middle of the plate, and the 90-degree mark, I put a little mark here is where I put a slit with a scissors, and then I went every 2 increments. So this says 90, 100, 110. I don't know if that's centimeters or inches, but I'm just gonna move over 2 increments this way, and I'm gonna keep going so it's equal distance all the way around. So I did this top side, and now I'm gonna flip it or you can turn the plate around. There's different ways to do it. And I just want to make sure that it's the same increments all the way around. So this, and then I'm going to go every 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, make a little mark, 1, 2. Oh, here's the 90-degree angle again. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but about, let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, let's hope. And I think that we're good. Okay, so on all these little slits, or all these little lines, we're gonna make a slit. Okay, so I'm gonna go all the way around. And like this, like this. Now I've seen other ways where you can cut the circle out in the center here and do the little marks, but I'm gonna do it on the outside of the plate because I just like the way that looks. There's always little variations, and as an artist, it's up to you how you wanna make your little variations and do it your own way. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way around and make these. This is what's gonna hold the string in the loom. Okay, so now, I was inspired by the sunset deeper colors, and so I have those strings with me. Those colors, yellow, deep yellow, and purple, and orange, and red. I'm gonna start, leave a little string on the back like that, and I'm gonna go directly across, and then I'm gonna go next to it, and you're gonna go directly across. And this way, pull it through that little slit. Be careful not to tear it. And all the way across, and it almost is starting to form like a little star. Another to go with our sky theme here. Go with the slit all the way across. Oh, and it looks like I ran out of string, so I'm just gonna grab more. Anytime you run out of string, don't panic. There's always a ways to fix it and make it good with being creative with art. I'm just gonna tie a little knot back here. Okay, and so it's hidden in the back. Here we are. Across, this, across, this, across. Oh, once again, I'm just not making my strings long enough, but that's okay. I'm gonna go with the flow here. I'm gonna put this guy here. Can always cut off the tails. Okay, here's my scissors. Get rid of these guys. And it looks like I have one more slit here. Okay. Oh, wow. This is much advanced. You can see there's all kinds of strings to go over, under, over, under. Okay, so I got that last string there. I'm going to secure it to the back. You can use tape. You could use glue, but you'd have to wait for it to dry, or I'm just gonna do a simple knot, get that guy back here, secured and hidden. Now, this is all gonna collect towards the middle. I'm gonna start a new color string. I'm gonna start with, oh, how I love the orange. I'm gonna start with orange, okay? This string is a little thinner than the string I use for beginners. This is a little thicker, easier to maneuver with your fingers and hands for beginners, and it, this is more entailed here. So we're gonna tie a knot, put that through there. We just have to secure it to the center because the center point is where we're gonna start cutting off the tail. You can double knot it, triple knot it. I just did it once and I feel good about that. Okay, and we're going to put this through the eye of the needle. So now we have one end secured to the center, the other end secured to the plastic needle. And we're gonna do the same pattern as the beginners did. It's an over, under, but instead of going back and forth, we're gonna go around. So you need to choose, do you wanna go clockwise or counterclockwise? But you're gonna follow round and round. You'll start in the center and it will grow and grow and grow. Here's my starting point. I'm just gonna go under, over, under, over, under, over. I'm gonna pull it slightly. Okay, over, under. So now, the more advanced, the more kind of strings were made, so there's more going over, under, and it gets a little complicated because you have to watch for knots and twisting and tying. But if you kind of go slow, take your time, be patient, and know that there's a solution to whatever comes and happens, you are going to be just fine. But this is a good practice of patience. Also a good practice of craft as I'm pulling. I don't want to pull too tight and rip anything or destroy anything. I want to kind of pull it just tight enough. Okay, and you'll see the circle starting to form. Now, I'm going to keep going round and round and round. If I want to change a string, just like the beginner level, you'll just snip off the needle and tie a new string on of the new color that you want. Or if you run out of string, you can put the same color on. Okay. Now I'm still going, spinning and up and down, up and down. And so if you want to make this more advanced, what you can do is you can use a bigger loom to make it more advanced. So instead of this medium-sized plate, you can use even a bigger plate. Another thing you could do if you're more advanced is to string these little pony beads, or you could, I guess you might be able to use a smaller bead, but these are pretty good for the width of the string. I'm thinking that I'm going to choose to put maybe one in the center. And so you would just string a string through and tie a knot, and that would stick in the center or anywhere else that you wanted it to go. But that's just another way for a more advanced level to carry on from this basic point. Okay, I kind of feel like I reach a stopping point here. I've almost reached the edge of the plate, and so I'm going to take the end of my string and cut that off, and I'm going to try to hide it behind, let's see, that I can kind of see this part. So maybe if I want it to look a little neater, I wonder if I went like that. There we go. I like that a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna hide that behind here. Wrap this up. And voila, I have my weaving just like that. Now, if you want to remove the weaving from the loom, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cut these strings in the back like so. And you have to be really, really careful that it doesn't mess up the front. Okay, and what we can do is we can pull this off like this. And I'm holding this down just so the weaving doesn't get pulled or messed up. See, gotta be kind of careful. Delicate, as delicate as can be. Okay, there we go. And remove this. You can reuse these, which is awesome. And what I would like to do for this is just make knots all the way around. You can leave these or you can cut them off. I might leave them, I think they look kind of cool. Okay, so I'm just double knotting it and I'm gonna go all the way around. Okay. Where are we at here? It's easy to get lost. When making your art, there's so many skills that you are using that will help in other areas of life, such as at your job or at school or in your personal life. We call those the artistic habits. What are some of the artistic habits that you feel you were using out of all of these options? In this project, you did communicate. How did you do that? Where else in life might you need to learn how to communicate in different ways? You also practice patience. How are you patient during this art project? Where else might be a good idea to be patient? Also, craftsmanship. Craftsmanship is taking care of your art and making it look nice and clean. Why is that important, and how did you use that in this art project? Upon completion of this project, you can write or talk about your artwork. We use an artist statement to help guide us to share information about our artwork with others. Use the Creative Geniuses Artist Statement handout as your guide. Share your artist statement with friends, family, and fellow Creative Geniuses students by sharing on our Facebook page or email.